What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another WNBA video. We got ourselves a two-game slate to dive into for Thursday, September 18th. So we're going to break down and analyze those games. We're going to talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points in the spread. And then when it's all said and done, make sure you check right down there into that pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that'll send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. It's where all of my final plays are going to live for these games for free. But before we dive into these games, let's go ahead and jump over there to the website. Let's take a look back at Tuesday and Wednesday's plays. This is what we put in and how that ended up going down. On Tuesday, we put 3 plays in. We go just 1 and 2 on the night, though. We took the Dream and the Fever a total over 157.5. We don't cash on that one. Jackie Young over 20.5 points and rebounds. Man, this was sweaty in the first half, but then she goes off in the third quarter, right? I think she had 4 points and 1 rebound at the half. And I was like, man, it's gonna be a bad night, right? But yeah, like I said, she goes off in the third quarter and cashes this in the third quarter with a couple minutes to play as well. So great night from Jackie Young, man. And it looked like the Aces were going to pull through for us. The Fever had already won, and then the Aces go ahead and lose as well. So it's just a double loss on this parlay here. So like I said, 1 and 2 overall on the night. Man, it's kind of funny, after these losing nights, I'll have, so obviously get some, some hate down in the comments, right? Not everybody's happy, but some of the comments are just kind of funny, right? So I'm looking at the, Wednesday video, right? The day after this. Somebody comments down there, man, just stop dropping videos and go ride a horse. I don't know what that means. Like, what's riding a horse got to do with anything? I don't even really like horses, bro. So I don't really know what that means, but gave me a good laugh, so I do appreciate that. Then, we'll go ahead and look at Wednesday's plays as well. Now, this one is still technically live, right? I did take the Mercury on the money line, put a full unit on that one at plus money as well. Now, this one does look good, man. They are up by 29 with less than 5 minutes to go. So hopefully I'm not jinxing myself right here and we don't just see the most ultimate comeback of all comebacks, right? So hopefully the Mercury can pull through for us here and just win by 1 point, right? Don't get outscored by 29 points here, please, in the next 4 minutes, and we'll be good to go. So looks like we're going to be 1 and 0 with that plus money cash on the day. So that'll definitely help out the bottom line here. We are down like a little over a unit here in the playoffs, right, through these first 2 days of playoff action. So this would put us back in the green where we want to be. So with that said, we got these 2 game threes, deciding game threes to dive into for Thursday's action, right? Go ahead and smash that like button down there for me, guys, if you can. Hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's go ahead and jump right into the mix. Going to be a 7:30 p.m. tip-off time for our first game. Going to be the Indiana Fever taking on the Atlanta Dream. Dream are 7.5-point favorites in this one. Total sitting at 154.5. These 2 teams, they've alternated wins and covers all season long between their head-to-head battles. The Dream winning 2 of 3 that they've played in Atlanta so far. That one loss that they had, that was to a much different Fever team, man, and much different looking Fever team, right? Only 4 players from that game's rotation for Indiana are going to be available, or even with the team still here for Game 3. That was way back when Dewana Bonner was still starting for the Fever. She's obviously no longer with Indiana. Now, we'll be back down south again for this one, and on the year, Atlanta has gone 17 and 6 straight up, 15 and 8 to the number 1 playing at home. Fever, on the other hand, they have struggled on the road, going just 12 and 12 straight up, 11 and 13 against the spread. They did respond nicely at home in game 2, right? They shot around 42% from both deep and overall from the field. They out-rebounded the Dream by 10. Atlanta only shot 26% from 3 and 37% overall from the field themselves. They did win the turnover battle, and they did dish out more assists. End of the day, man, it was just one of those, Atlanta can't make a shot kind of days, right? They just went cold. I just personally can't expect Indiana to out physical this Dream team the way they did in game 2, man. In consecutive games here in game 3 on the road at that. I just don't see it, man. And, we know offensively, too, that this team really takes a hit when on the road. Indiana's 3rd overall for offensive rating on the year, but just 8th when playing on the road. The Dream, they've given up the 2nd fewest made shots from the outside at home and the fewest rebounds per game as well. So I like Atlanta to bounce back here in the deciding game 3 and get the cover. I've seen a lot of people talking about the pressure is now on them, and they're right. Pressure is on Atlanta. The Fever did ride the energy from that home crowd in a do-or-die situation in Game 2, right? Atlanta just simply didn't respond. They didn't match that energy. But with the injuries to the Fever side, man, I don't trust them to run it back here on the road. Like I said, man, give me Atlanta to close this one out on the side. That's the way that I would be leaning. Now, for the total, both games so far, they have landed well below the number, being 2 physical, grinded out type games, right, that finished at 148 and 137. 4 of the last 5 between these 2 have gone under. 4 straight and 7 of the last 8 for the Fever have gone under. 2 straight and 4 of the last 6 for the Dream have gone under. Now, these 2 were middle of the pack over their last 5 heading into the playoffs at 7th and 8th for pace. they have sped things up to some degree over their game ones and two. The thing is, though, that each of these sides have struggled shooting the ball on the road in this series, and the Fever, they continue to be inefficient with the ball, coughing it up a ton, even in wins, right? As evident in game two. So we may see pace in this one. We may see these two get out on the break and run as well, right? But end of the day, I think we see another physical, scrappy, low scoring game, right? It's going to get a little sloppy at times. So I'm going to be leaning under looking at this game here. Now, for our second matchup, 9:30 p.m. tip-off time, going to be the Seattle Storm taking on the Las Vegas Aces. We got the Aces coming in 8-point favorites, total sitting at 159.5. The Aces, man, they finally lost one, and it took everything from Seattle to make it happen, right? Storm were down 12 with around 7 minutes to play, but they did close the game on a 16-4 run behind a frenzied home crowd. And the combo of Erica Wheeler and Skylar Diggins really just taking control down the stretch in the clutch. Now, with that said, man, I can't expect Seattle to repeat their shooting performance from game two here on the road in Vegas. They went 10 for 20 for 50% shooting from deep in game two. They looked like the more desperate team there in game two, man. They outscored Vegas on the break by 12, 16-4. They scored 18 points off of those Aces turnovers. Vegas only had 11 points off of turnovers themselves. Seattle had the slight edge on the glass as well. But despite all that, Vegas still held control for most of the game, still held leads as large as 14. And it took, like mentioned already, man, everything Seattle had in a fourth quarter rally at home to pull through for a comeback win and keep their season alive. Now we get the Aces in a bounce back spot at home, facing elimination themselves. Feels like a recipe for disaster for a Storm team, man, that has spent the whole season just turning in wildly inconsistent performances. So I'll be leaning with the Aces on the side here to close this one out. I don't think it's close, man. I think the Aces win this one by double digits. Now, 17 straight wins, 19 of your prior 20, and your first loss is a tight 3-point loss on the road at that. In a tough playoff atmosphere, man, this Vegas team is legit. I'm not standing in front of them right now, so yeah, give me the Aces laying the points. But for the total, it's been 4 overs in a row between these two head to head. None of those games landing under 169 and those finishing at an average of 174. And now we have this total coming in at 159.5. They have slowed down just slightly as far as pace is concerned here in these first two games of the postseason, but both of these offenses are shooting the ball pretty efficiently. The Aces shooting 50% from the field, 43% from deep. Seattle hitting at 45% both overall from the field and from three. I think the books, man, they're expecting a big performance from Vegas here, potential letdown from Seattle as well, and a lower scoring finish as far as the total is concerned as a result of that. But I think even if Seattle struggles here, that line is so low that Vegas should be able to push us up and over that mark, man. Vegas has that tendency too when they kind of build up a lead, kind of, pump the brakes on defense, right? Not give that same kind of energy once they get that lead established. So, I could see them letting, Seattle get up into the 70s, even the low 80s even, and still winning this one by 20, right? Because that's what Vegas does, man. And that would get us well up and over that mark, right? So it's a look at the Aces and the team total over instead of looking at the full game. But either way, man, whether it's full game, whether it's the Aces with that team total over, I would be looking at an over in this game. And that is going to do it here for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Hope you found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe if you have not already. And that is going to do it, guys. Hope you guys have yourselves a great Thursday. Hope you all cash out. And I'll see you back tomorrow for the next one.